Congress needs to get to work out there, and I'm talking now. Clarity is on the verge of maybe not going through. We'll break it down for you, and we'll talk to a pro-crypto candidate today. Let's just jump into it. I do want to thank our sponsor, and that is Tangem. If you are into crypto, this should be on your checklist to get to become a self-custody holder of your own tokens. The way you can do that is just visit Tangem.com, get into your hardware wallet, works with your phone, very easy to set up, super secure, and it is one of the best wallets out there. So you guys use it, and of course use my link down below. It's going to help us out and hopefully get you in the process. And even if you're brand new on crypto, you can do this. It's very easy. Don't let people make you think it's hard. It's not. Let's go over to some of the topics, and one of the biggest ones is the Clarity Act, and where are we? Everybody's asking about it this week. It looked as though we had a little bit of openness in the early part of the week. Now, what we're dealing with is that the date is starting to slip a little bit. The schedule was released for next week's schedule, which did not mention a Clarity Act markup. So are people now saying, wait a minute, if this doesn't happen now or by the end of the month, does this thing die? What would happen there? Now, we have a pro-crypto candidate because this, of course, gets into what Congress should be doing to try to pass many of these bills, but also other things around the American movement, I think, especially whether it's in digital assets or stuff like that. But I want to play an ad from this candidate, and then we'll bring him in. Take a look.
I'm Joe Schiarizzi, and I'm fucking pissed off.
All right, so if anybody's pissed off, it's me because we're not getting anything done. So I wanted to bring in Joe Schiarizzi coming in from the 7th District of Virginia. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing great today. Outstanding.
Excellent. First of all, what is this April 21st special election for? What's that going to do?
So Virginia is currently in the process of having a democratic redistricting where everyone in the state can vote to draw new congressional boundaries by next Tuesday, April 21st. Okay. And it's really about fair maps and checks and balances. You know, America needs checks and balances to function. Personally, I think a lot of Republicans in Congress have forgotten this and allowed the executive branch to get away with starting illegal wars, firing federal workers illegally, and just all manners of corruption. So in order to maintain checks and balances, Virginia has decided, okay, if other states are redistricting to give Republicans an unfair advantage in Texas, Ohio, North Carolina, and Florida, Virginia has a chance to redistrict if the voters want us to as well.
Okay, all right. So, and that happens next week on the 21st.
That's right. So that election will go through. It will create a new district where I live in Virginia. It will create a new 7th district with no incumbent, and that is the seat that I'm running for.
All right, there you go. And of course, you guys can go to votejoe.org right there. Start to help participate within this. What is your background with Web3 and crypto? I saw that you were in the Ethereum ecosystem, but how far back into crypto do you go?
I first kind of got interested in like alternative financial things after 2008. My family almost lost our home to a very, very greedy system, just of greedy bankers, you know, and it was a really hard time for a lot of families, I think. So I've always kind of been drawn to kind of what can we do to make finance more fair and more equal for working people. One of the things I've done in Ethereum is created a system to borrow against tokenized renewable energy certificates so that we can fund more renewable energy. Other things around mutual aid, around DAOs, and around tokenization of assets that I think makes finance more open, more transparent, and more fair. So in terms of Ethereum specifically, I started working at ConsenSys in 2017.
Okay.
I've contributed to a lot of stablecoin projects, municipal finance, which was trying to create municipal bond-backed stablecoins so that we could fund roads and hospitals. I've also contributed to a number of DeFi protocols over the years.
Very nice. Well, listen, we need more people in Congress that understand what's going on in crypto, or at least understand the basics of what's going on in crypto. You can educate the others of these feckless people that don't do anything. Sorry, but I get very upset. The goal,
you know, I want to be an engineer, you know, but the way that this country is going, I'm just so upset about it.
You just finally said, I'm done.
Something about it personally.
Well, let's get into the one area that I know you're upset about, and that is World Liberty Finance and everything that's happening within that. This is interesting things, and I think most of the people probably have seen some of the stuff that's been around over there on crypto Twitter, and it's pretty significant. Explain your analysis of this so far.
It's one of the Trump, insiders groups, many scams that they've pulled against the crypto community and against the citizens of our country and the world. Really, they keep launching these things where they say, "Yeah, trust us. We're one of you guys. Give us your money, put your money in here." And then what do? They steal all of it for themselves. They never had any intention of contributing to decentralized finance or making finance more fair. It's all a giant exit scam for them, and it always will be. It's an entire family of con artists, and I think the American people have had enough, and I think everybody in Web3 world should have enough too. Stop giving them your money and stop buying their meme coins.
Well, there's definitely some drama going on between World Liberty Fi and Justin Sun, which has been starting to air out there in the open public. And I think maybe on the crypto side of things, and we'll ask this in our lightning round with you a little bit later, but I think a lot of people are looking at this and saying, this was not what Trump really, when he stepped out on that stage and was talking to the Bitcoin community and said, hey, we're going to fire Gensler and we're going to really start to shake things up. Everybody was looking at this being a revolution for crypto. And now here we are. And this is one of the things, it's just another black eye that continues to kind of haunt crypto in general, which is a problem. Do you think we will see World Liberty Fi collapse?
I'm not going to make a prediction like that. I would say that as a protocol, it's almost certainly worthless. I won't say what day it will collapse. It's based on code from Aave and other DeFi protocols that has billions of dollars in it and is very reliable. So maybe it won't collapse. But as a protocol, you can't expect con artists to maintain their code well, and you can't expect them to keep their projects going, especially after they've already rugged it for all of the money in it. I can't believe I agree with Justin Sun. I can't believe it.
Well, that's something that I was having a trouble with as well.
Yeah.
Is whose side do you to fall on? I said, well, I kind of fall on Sun's side at this point of where things are going because of just all the weirdness that seems to be happening around this. And it only is getting worse. When you look at some of the things that Trump has done, if anything done right, the White House laid out its fixes for the housing affordability problem. This is something that the Democrats have tried to do for a long time, have been unable to do anything to really improve housing. Trump is at least doing something. What do you think? Did he do a better job on the housing crisis than Democrats?
Definitely not. I'll push back on the idea that Democrats aren't doing enough work on housing. I've been an affordable housing activist in Virginia for several years and been working on getting more affordable housing built in Arlington, Fairfax, Falls Church, through Nova Yimbys, through Falls Church Forward, and many other kind of local organizations that I've been contributing to. Look, it comes down to supply and demand. It's a market, okay? And we have to build more affordable housing. We can't only put money into subsidies for the demand side. We have to increase the supply of affordable housing a lot because working people are suffering and the housing market is just out of control. So I've even put forward that I think we should declare a national housing emergency and start treating the crisis that it is like we did after World War II when the troops came home and we just started building.
How would that affordable housing be able to take, where would the money come from? How would that get funded to the level that you're talking about?
Sure. Let me give you an example. There's a apartment complex in Arlington called Terwilliger Place, and it is on top of an American Legion post, which used to be a mostly a parking lot and a single family or a single story building. And now it's 160 apartments, half of them reserved for veterans and all more affordable in Arlington, which is one of the most expensive housing markets in the entire country. So by taking land that the federal government already has and funding it with loans that pay interest to the taxpayers, right? So that was not just funded with public money, it was funded with low interest loans, right? So that actually had a positive ROI for the taxpayers in terms of actual dollars, plus a lot of homes got built for families and veterans in our community. And those are the type of projects that we need to support. So there's tons of federal land.
I was going to say, is there enough of that out there to where you could really maximize
There's tons of federal land in our cities. VFW posts, there are Boy Scout posts, there are Amtrak stations. Everyone that has a charter from Congress, like all those veterans organizations that I mentioned, should be able to use the Interstate Commerce Clause to not follow state zoning requirements and be able to build as much affordable housing on their land as they want, right? So that we can get creative and we can unlock this without having a huge cost burden and actually make money for the taxpayers and meet the needs of our communities. We can do
Joe,
that if we have leaders who are willing to.
Right. So that's my question. Leaders that are willing to. Why, I mean, if this is available, why have we not seen this being done? Whether it's even with the current administration or even the past administration.
You're right. I think a lot of leaders, you're totally right to ask that. You know, I think a lot of leaders have not taken the housing crisis seriously, or they've said at the federal level, they're in Congress and they're saying, that's just a state issue. That's just a city issue. We don't want to get involved. And that's been a mistake that has brought us to the crisis that we are today. So that's why I'm running to take housing affordability seriously and running as the affordable housing candidate in my community.
Well, I think this is, well, first of all, that affordable housing, but I think affordability for Americans is a huge issue right now. That gets in to the topic of stable coins. We'll talk about that here in a second. But clarity, of course, is brewing. I wanted, and clarity being, for many of you know that this is going to have a major impact on crypto in general. What we've done is we've prepared our lightning round, and we do this with our political candidates when they come on. It's a lightning round. We had John Deaton on here recently. He's running up in Massachusetts. And I wanted to go through the list with you. First up is, if stablecoin yields of any kind are banned, but everything else in clarity would be fine, would you vote for it if you were in Congress right now?
Probably. I mean, if that's the compromise that it takes to have clarity, we have to have clarity on crypto assets, right? We have to go after people who are doing crimes and doing scams. It's going to be easier to have government agencies going after the bad guys when we have clear rules about what the good guys should follow. Yeah. Right. So we have to get these kind of things passed.
Okay. So my question to you would be, if you say yes on that, that's the banks winning, and that of course pulls away, you know, basic yield that Americans are earning today, whether it's on Coinbase or Uphold or any of their platforms out there where they're drawing in yield right now. Wouldn't that directly hit at affordability?
I would like stablecoins to pass on yield, especially if they're backed by AAA rated municipal bonds. Maybe they could even be passing on tax advantages. We want people's money to be giving them yield safely, right? Stablecoins in clarity, ingenious, it requires that they're backed by US treasuries, right? So you have to have this level of quality. If we're reaching that, you know, maybe yield makes a lot more sense. But in terms of getting it passed, I think the question was, if everything else was agreed upon, if that was the compromise.
Yeah, the compromise. Because everything else would be DeFi, privacy, self-custody, all the good things that are in clarity right now. It is a hard one. It is a hard one. I think for a lot of people in the crypto community, it's very difficult for them to give up to the banks. The future of finance in general would literally fall back into the hands of the banks, you know, in terms of innovation. And it would kind of stifle, I would think, a lot of innovation on the crypto side, because this has been kind of a secret weapon, even though it's only a $2.5 trillion market right now.
I don't know, man. I think
it's a hard one.
We have to have clarity. We have to go for clarity, and you know, the compromises that we make have to be about safety. You don't want situations where the banks just control everybody's money and just, you know, recreate 2008. You know, the banks loved everything that they had going into the 2008 crisis, right? And look how much human suffering they created.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad. 2008 was absolutely terrible. I don't think people really realize how bad that was. Many people don't, and were not around at that time, at least in the area of business, you know, where things were happening, or they were maybe in a family like what you ran into. I'm going to be faster on these so we can get them all in. What would would Trump sign the Clarity Bill if it includes anything targeting his crypto schemes?
I would be shocked if he signed any law that said, I'm not allowed to get away with my, you know, multi-billion-dollar crypto scams.
Impossible that would happen.
I don't think he would. If we set this laws that say, hey, this meme coin scam that the president pulled is illegal and he should be in jail for doing it, and the investors have rights, that would be very bad for him. And one thing that we know about President Trump is that he always does what's best for him.
Next up, who would you blame most right now if Clarity doesn't pass? Would you blame Republican senators?
I would blame people who voted against it.
Okay.
Sorry, that's not the answer you're looking for. I mean, okay. We don't know who's voting. It hasn't been put to a vote yet, right? So
well, let's assume that it even goes. Maybe it doesn't even go to a vote. This is the concern right now, is it maybe never makes it to the floor. So I'm going to go no answer on that, just because it's kind of a vague one. What should World Liberty Fi be held most allegedly accountable for here? Pay to play, disclosure, foreign bribes, deleting stuff and covering up. What do you think?
To me, I think investor disclosure has been breached when they're saying, oh, this is how many tokens they are, and they're not disclosing how many governance tokens they actually control and what the float is. That's not how investment works. That's not how securities works. If you want to do these kind of fundraisers and run these kind of companies, you have to follow disclosure laws. You have to follow security laws. And the Trump administration and their family insiders are not above the law.
Yeah, I think we already answered this question earlier. You said you hate to side, but you would side with Justin Sun.
I'm shocked I'm on Justin Sun's side. I'm not. I'm not going to say anything negative about anybody here.
Not a problem.
I think that's very easy to get behind, because it's very clear that they're just stealing money from investors. To me,
I look at it this way: if I had to side, I'm just siding with crypto. And Justin happens to be in crypto, so I would side with crypto in general. If World Liberty Fi collapses, who would the Dems scorch more, Trump or crypto?
I mean, both. And so many people's minds, those are the same thing, right? And we as developers or proponents of this technology have
how can you
just
blame
completely
crypto
failed to
for something that somebody's using the tool for?
We spent all this time telling people blockchain's going to do all these great things, and it hasn't. It hasn't materially improved the average person's life. All they've heard about it is these crypto bros funded the Trump campaign 2 years ago and keep funding all these Republicans. That's what that is attached to now. It's unfortunate. It didn't have to be that way.
Reality is perception.
It can be a technology that helps us fund renewable energy. It can be a technology that helps us with mutual aid. It can be a technology that helps us preserve, private payments between doctors and patients for getting any type of medicine or procedures that they need.
Right.
Those are things that I care about. This is a technology that allows us to do those. It's unfortunate that the money in crypto has gone to Republicans, and that the Trump insiders have been able to kind of scam everybody and pull the wool over the eyes of so many of my colleagues. But it doesn't have to be that way.
All right, let's go to this next one. Who did AI and crypto czar David Sachs benefit the most? The lobbies, the monopolies, the maxis, or his own ventures?
Yeah, podcast hosts.
Ooh, okay.
Who has really benefited in the long term from these Trump policies? I haven't seen it.
Let's go to this one. Who should Trump fire next?
Hegseth. Hegseth should be in prison. It's ridiculous that after adding reporters to his Signal chat, that he wasn't canned immediately. That's disgraceful.
That's a big problem. Yeah. Not a single penny should be sent to Israel or Iran war efforts. Do you agree?
Yeah, we shouldn't start illegal wars.
But that's not the question. Is money sent to Israel or the Iran war efforts?
No, we shouldn't be sending it. We shouldn't be funding any illegal wars.
No money. Netanyahu, you get no money. I will never take back and this is a hard one. We asked John this. I will never take bank lobby money or AIPAC money.
Easy question. I'll never take bank lobby money or AIPAC money.
Okay, easy. Who poses a bigger threat to America, Musk or foreign dictators?
I mean, these are the overlap on these and the relationships can be very shocking. I'll say Musk and monopolies, because right now America needs to focus on affordable housing, on the environment, and government accountability. And Elon Musk and the monopolies in America are just working against the average American constantly on those.
How would you fix healthcare right now? Increase ACA, Medicare for all, privatize, or some other BS plan, as they say?
Medicare for all.
Okay, Medicare for all. Oh, you're on. We have guys in the studio. I'd be happy to hear you say that. Bitcoin mining in Virginia is contributing to rising energy prices. Do you think that's happening?
Rising energy prices are because the president illegally started bombing Iran. Probably Bitcoin mining is contributing. We have some of the most data centers anywhere in the entire world here in Virginia. And it's unfair to ask mom and pop down the road to compete in the same market with Amazon and Google. You know, so data centers are raising energy prices. That's a reality. I don't know how much of those are Bitcoin mining or are actively in Virginia.
It probably should say AI
we have to take
and Bitcoin mining, AI and tech in general.
If you put it all together, absolutely, it's contributing to rising energy prices, and the Trump regime is making this worse by actively sabotaging renewable energy projects that should already be live in Virginia.
Interesting. Listen, Joe, thank you so much. We're going to bring your website up again one more time. If you guys want to learn more about Joe and you're in Virginia, this is your man, votejoe.org. He is a crypto native, understands what's going on out there. Maybe he'll be able to educate some of these, people in Congress. I won't say what I think they are, but
maybe we can spend less time educating everybody in Congress on crypto and more time actually improving the lives of average Americans.
But if you educate them on crypto, you might actually improve the lives of Americans.
We might.
So there you go. Joe, thanks for coming in today. We appreciate it.
Paul, thanks for having me on. Appreciate your time. And you can go to votejoe.org/crypto to learn more about our specific policies there. And we also accept donations in many different cryptos and tokens compliantly, 100% compliantly. And we're all about affordable housing, sustainability, and accountability in government.
If you like this video, hit like and subscribe, drop a comment down below, and also join our free private member group. The link is in the description.